Hi, it's Will from StormyCastle.com, and here on YouTube you know me as Epic Fantasy. That's right. And with my latest tutorial, this is a fun foam board project. It is the Assassin's Creed Phantom Blade. Just the crossbow part of it. There's no actual blade. Fun, and you know, I took a lot of time. I got a template, of course, for you. Right? You can print up that template, cut out the parts, put it together, and in this video is kind of the assembly procedure. I show you how to put this together step by step. You only need a few things: foam board, a few barbecue skewers, thin wooden barbecue skewers, a couple of rubber bands, and if you want the wrist piece, you know, some kind of like cloth or vinyl or leather or something like that. Let's take a look at it. It's a two-step thing, right? In the first step, move this trigger and the crossbow loads. And in the second step, you hit the trigger and it fires. There it goes. So, kind of fun. My Assassin's Creed Hidden Blade tutorial is a very popular tutorial. It's got well over 1 million hits. So I said, I should do something like that again. So this is it. How to make the Phantom Blade. I like this project. It was a lot of fun to make. A lot of work. I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out so it assembles well. But there you go. Thanks for watching my videos. Thanks for subscribing if you're a subscriber. Hit that button if you're not. I do 2 new videos every week. Always lots of fun, creative, and interesting stuff in lots of different subjects. I got some blacksmithing videos coming up. A lot of people ask for those, and I'm sorry they've been taking so long. Let's do the introduction, and then let's do how to make the Phantom Blade from Assassin's Creed. Thank you. Dioramas, origami, catapults, and trebuchets, telescopes, terrariums, bonsai trees, and paper games, swords and shields, and real blacksmithing, model rockets, animation. I teach the art of real creation. StormyCastle.com. Let's make something. All right, let's take a look at what we need to do this project. You need the template. You can download that on my website. The URL is in the description. A piece of foam board, 3 barbecue skewers, wooden like this, or you can use paintbrushes, thin paintbrushes like this, 2 rubber bands, and about 20 inches of string. And to see this piece of vinyl there, that's for the wrist cuff. If you want to make that too to go along with it to mount the crossbow. Some paints. I used brown, silver, and yellow. Glue stick, a nice sharp X-Acto knife, and a glue gun. And that's everything. So let's get to making it. Print up the template, and there you go. There's 2 pages. There's a cover page too, but there's 2 pages of parts. Put the glue stick on the backs of those sheets and glue stick them down to your foam board. Like this, and take your time. Make it nice and even. Nice and smooth. There you go. There's the second page. And then cut the pieces out. Every piece is numbered. You want to keep every piece numbered. Now here's a trick about cutting foam board. Make 3 passes. The first pass just cuts the top paper. The second pass cuts the foam. The third pass you push all the way through and cut the bottom layer of paper. And that's how you make a nice smooth cut with foam board. And have a nice sharp knife too. A nice sharp X-Acto knife. Replace it the blade if you need to. So there we go. All the pieces are cut out. And everything's numbered. If you peel that paper off of any pieces, number the piece so you know which piece is which. So let's start making it. Grab yourself piece number 1 and glue 2 and 3 to it. You know, fun project. I had a lot of fun making this project. It took me quite a while to figure it all out to get it nice and well built. But there's 2. And here's 3. This actually is a channel for your projectile, whether it be a straw or a dart or something. And then glue piece number 4 right on top of that. And the orientation of those holes for the rubber band is important. So watch how this is. See those circles, those black circles? Keep them that way, from side to side. And they're directly over the circles on piece number 1. So now let's do the assembly that holds the rubber band and shoots the projectile. Part 5, and this is part 6. Glue part 6 to it like this. Now you glue part 7 to this side like this. And then you glue piece 8 to that. Now, part number 9, a little bit tricky. It goes on there like this, and make sure you get the orientation right with the hole in the back. Well, to the left there. And you want it to be spaced up above part 5. So when it's glued and it's set, it slides like this through the slot in part 1. See it? So that's what we're making here, like that. So clean up any glue if you have to, but then you end up with that. That's that whole platform slide assembly that pushes the straw and shoots it. So now let's do the base. Take part 10 and glue 11, 12, 13, and 14 to it. 11, 12, 13, and 14. And notice the way which way that slot goes. It's towards the outside, the end. It points at the end. That's for the trigger. Next, we put in the rubber band that powers the bow. Doesn't shoot the bolt, but it powers the bow. So push a rubber band through one set of slots like this, and then put your skewer or your paintbrush through it to hold it in place. Feed another rubber band underneath it like this. Oh, like this. Feed another rubber band underneath it, and just leave it there for the moment. Now let's finish off this rubber band. Take the other end there and push it through that other whole pair. Push it through both the top and the bottom, and then wrap it on the other end of the skewer. See it? Push it all the way through and then get it on that skewer. So the whole thing ends up looking like this. Now you can trim that skewer. Or paintbrush, whichever you used. Looks good. That is the power for the bow and the projectile. Snip that rubber band like this, about an inch from the end, although you can fiddle it back and forth to make some room. Tie it in the knot. And put some glue on it to hold it tight. The point for the glue is to hold it tight so it doesn't come undone. Now feed it through the slot like this, because it's going to come up through. And then feed it through the slot in that platform assembly like this. I'll show you in a second. My hole isn't cut there yet. I got a slot there. I didn't cut it. I have to go and cut it now. But there it is, like that. Slide it through there, tie it in a knot, and put glue in it. And you can tinker around with this to get the different strength on your bolt. So you put some glue on it. Now once you see how this slides, then you'll understand how this all goes. Trim any excess. Just like that. You feed it in there. See it? And look at that. We have power. Very nice. So see that part number 9, a little bit tricky. You got to make sure it doesn't, jam up. So now put some glue on that bottom assembly that was 10, 11, 12, and 13, and then glue the top to it. Very good. Nice job. So now you can use your paintbrush, right? 5.5 inches long. Trim it to 5.5 inches long. Or your bamboo skewer. And let's wind it up to get the propulsion. It isn't a propulsion for the projectile, just it gives us the torque for the bow to spring into action. And you do this with it to rewind it. Make sure you wind it in the correct direction towards the back of the phantom blade. Put a few winds on it. The more winds on it, the more crisper it will spring. But it's not shooting anything, so it's not necessary to get it really tight. You just want a nice, crisp, springing action. And I think I show you that right here. See it? Watch. Boom. See? Do the same thing on the other side. There we go. Crossbow is wound up. Very nice. Now let's add in parts 15 and 16. These are rather cosmetic, but I like them. 15 goes in there, and it's at an angle. And 16 on the other side. How many pieces we got? 25, 26? 10 more to go. Something like that. Yeah. Let's do 16. You know, if you love the Assassin's Creed stuff and you love stuff like this, make sure you check out the Hidden Blade I have. That's a very popular video. I got a bunch of Assassin's Creed stuff, actually. Swords and armor. There we go. Okay, now we're going to start to do the trigger assembly. So right there, put pieces 17, 18, 19, and 20. Now I call this the horseshoe assembly, and this is what actually fires off the bow. That's part 21, 22, and 23, and you'll get a look at that in a second. Use the skewer and make sure you pre-cut those holes. Don't try to make the holes while you're making it. Do the holes first, and then put it together like this and glue it. 21, 22, and 23. See, this is what's going to release the bow. So now let's put the trigger in, part 24. Pre-cut that hole. Now let's put it all together. Put your horseshoe in there. Feed your skewer to it. All those holes are pre-made, makes it easy to put together. Put the trigger in. Check it all for fit, make sure it's all nice and smooth, everything works correctly, and you can trim that skewer. See, that trigger needs a little bit of adjusting there. But everything's working good. Now let's give it a try. Load it. And load the bolt carriage. So now, move that horseshoe and the bow fires. Then depress that trigger and the bolt fires. Very good. Nice. Continue on. Let's put on the bolts. I actually have two different sets of these. I have a wide set and a narrow set, so you can choose from. But make sure you pre-cut those holes. And if you have trouble getting the hole down the length of that bow, you can actually do this. Just cut a run, like a groove in it, and then you can glue it right in there. Makes it a lot easier. It's no problem doing this here. Cut out a groove, and then you can place it on top of that skewer and glue it in place. See, like this? That's what would be happening if you put it on the skewer. That's mounted on the crossbow. So put it on there one way or another. This way is better so you can adjust it. So you might want to be careful if you're going to glue it on there. You got to adjust it, make sure it fits right. I'll show you why. Got to tinker with it a little bit. See, it's got to come out a little bit. I pushed it in too far. Keep, tinker with it. And this is also why I made the smaller ones. The thinner ones, bows, are easier. But there you go. It's loaded and ready to go. Fits. Everything's good. We can continue on. The string for the bow. Feed it through the hole, your 20-inch piece, to the center of the string, and then tie it in a knot and put a piece of glue on it. Now it's important that you tie it in a knot and put a piece of glue on it. Otherwise the bow might pull one way or the other. This way they open evenly. If one is wound tighter than the other, it will pull that way. So if you got a knot on it, it's all set. And then tie the ends to the end of the bow and test it so you get maximum action. Because depending on the length of your string, it will move more or less. Less or more, probably is a better phrase. But tie those and glue them on. And that's it. Getting close to done. I cut a piece of vinyl, put some strips of Velcro on it so I could wrap it around my wrist. I also put a strip of Velcro on the little crossbow so I could mount that on there. Amazing work that you can do with just a few basic materials like foam board and some glue. Remember, I got the template for you. Download that and print up those parts. Put it on there. Now you can put it on your wrist. Well, first let's paint it up. I'm not giving you a really detailed color scheme. You can kind of choose your own color scheme. I had some fun with it, but for the most part, it's silver, brown, and yellow. And you can go crazy, put a lot of details on it if you want. I didn't put a whole lot of details. One of these videos, one of these clips might show the symbol I put on there. But yeah, some detail work in silver. The main body of it brown. And then the bows are yellow. See, here's the small ones. See, I like the small ones better. The thinner, it looks a little more like the real one. And nice detail. Well, I didn't say much about detail, but there's a little bit of silver paint on those bows, and then some yellow paint. I think it's like an ivory color. So if you have ivory color, go for ivory. It'll probably look more authentic. But yellow's nice. That's it. You are done. Have fun. The Phantom Blade. Release the bow, release the projectile. Lots more stuff on my website at stormthecastle.com, and here on my YouTube channel. Up top there is the Hidden Blade. That's a very popular project. Down below is how to make a rubber band gun out of foam board. Thank you. Hit that subscribe button.